Hello, everybody. This is Kelly and Jim from the X-Files Preservation Collection, and we are talking to Keith Arbuthnot today from the episodes Fammiliar.
How we doing?
Great.
So why don't you do way more than just the episode Fammiliar. So do you want to tell the audience like what you do the best you can?
Well, let's see. I am I like to call myself a physical actor. I trained in theater with movement training and acting and technical theater. And I'm also a special effects makeup artist. So a lot of stuff that I've performed over the years, I've actually built.
Awesome.
For the X-Files, I was invited by Bill Terazakis at WCT Makeup Effects to come in and introduce me for the part. And fortunately, though, I'd already worked with the producers on the show on other things, like I had 5 seasons on Falling Skies with numerous characters and creatures. And I built a relationship with that production team. So when Bill mentioned me for the part of, I think it was originally Ghoulie, and then Chuckle Teeth, or no, actually, I'm sorry. It was the season before with a couple of the characters. And from there, it just snowballed, and Bill kept encouraging production, and production was like, yes, we love Keith, we want to work with Keith, and I'm forever grateful for all of them for giving me these opportunities. It's a great team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of that. When you got involved, you were aware of the X-Files. Were you a fan of the X-Files?
Absolutely. It was a strange thing for me too. It had such a weird time slot when it first came on, and I think they were just trying something new. And for me, I'd kind of lost interest in television. Everything was kind of, Rockford Files or whatever for a long time, or Magnum PI. And I was born and raised on Battlestar Galactica and
Good stuff.
all the good stuff, right? Buck Rogers.
Yep.
And then when the X-Files popped on, and I saw the opening credits, I think it's like Jim for me. It was like I finally found something worthwhile,
Right.
Yeah.
And how did drawing a blank.
Well, while he tries to remember what he was going to say, of all the episodes that you were in, do you have a favorite? Or actually, of all the episodes you've seen, do you have a favorite?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll ask you the question.
Yeah, it's, especially with everything that's out there. You know what? The one that had the biggest impact on me from the original series was the Fluke Man episode. Remember that one?
Yeah, we
The
do.
host.
The host, yeah.
Yeah. So the funny and magical and amazing synchronistic part about that was Darren, can't remember his last name. He directed and wrote the importance of forehead sweat from the last season.
Yep.
The Lost Art.
Lost Art. Yep.
Lost Art. Yes, thank you. Yeah, he wrote and directed that piece, but he was the Fluke Man.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
And it was such a great opportunity for him and for me to just be like, yeah, it's like full circle kind of a melding of all these things that had influenced me from like The Outer Limits and all that stuff. And when I read the script, it was a big yes for me to do that part of the alien, and working with him was just a delight. He's a wonderful man, very talented.
Yeah, he was definitely involved in a lot of the
And,
really important episodes.
he was a lot of some of the comical ones too. He was,
Hmm. Yeah, he's got a very good style, a great grip on comedy and timing.
Exactly.
Yep.
What got you into this line of work?
When I was a kid, I loved, it was cosplay before it was cosplay. I saw Star Wars. I saw um, uh, Indiana Jones soon after. And I turned to my mom and my dad, and we're watching Indiana Jones on this old black and white TV. And I said to them, "That's what I want to do for a living." And they said, "What?" And I said, "That guy right there, he was flying the spaceship on the other show, and now he's doing that. I want to do that." And they said, "Oh, great, you want to be an archaeologist?"
Yeah, that's not what you had in mind.
And I was like, I don't think that's how you say it, but no, I want to be an actor. And I think they cried themselves to sleep a few nights, thinking that their poor, Northern Ontario boy was going to starve and, never make a living. But that was really kind of the impetus of it. It just from there, I kept making a mess in the basement and creating costumes and building stuff. And as opportunities came to me, or were presented to me in theater and at places that I worked when I was a kid, doing summer singing and dancing at theme parks and whatnot. These opportunities of making the costumes or doing the other characters that nobody else wanted to do kept popping up, and I was a big heck yeah, put me in. And I realized pretty soon on, good timing with the old garbage trucks. Let me know if that's too loud, guys. I can try and deal with that. I learned pretty soon on, my dad had this advice for me: the guy that gets hired for the gig is the guy standing in the door. And with that, I took that everywhere I went. And any chance that there was a gig that came up, a headless a night, a plant creature, dude, whatever, I jumped at it. The giant bunny singing in the background while all the other kids are out front, doing their thing. I learned that I got more work and I could stay in the theater doing what I was doing as a builder and as a designer. And it gave me more opportunities to perform.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Definitely.
What did your parents think down the road when you finally started, this could be a career?
It took a while for it to really settle in from them. It's one of the best things that I think that we can give to our parents is independence and success. And mom and dad, for a long time, lovingly and they were always concerned that I was never going to have enough money to pay my rent, to pay my car insurance, all that kind of stuff. And for a long time, it was true. I was like, one gig to another, and I did almost 4.5 years of working with a special events company doing singing telegrams in between all these other things. And I think the gig that really clinched it for them was when I finally got on with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV series, back before the early 2000s. And they had a couple of episodes that required puppets. And again, I was a big heck yeah, like throw me in. I can do that. And the producers were great on that show too. They took chances on the local boys in Calgary to build and make these things happen. And I think we did amazing work on that. It was like working in Santa's workshop, you know. Every episode was something new.
Right.
Anyway, we built these puppets, performed them, and my first paycheck went to my parents' house. And my mom called me up one day and said, hey, we've got some mail here for you. I thought it was a bill, so I opened it. And I knew full well that she was just trying to take care of me and make sure that I was ahead of the collection game, whatever it might be. And I said, knowing that she had taken a peek, I said, Mom, can you tell me how much it was for? And she said, oh, I haven't looked. I said, okay, Mom, just tell me how much it was for. And she said, oh, it's $1,500. And at this time, I was working steady and making a lot of money as a builder in the prop gizmo shop there. But that one day of puppeteering was the $1,500. And my mom said to me, is that for the full month? And I said, no, Mom, that was for a day. And she said, well, I guess you're going to be okay.
She slept well ever since.
Yeah.
She really has. She really has. From there, it's been one great little opportunity after another. Grateful for each and every chance that I've been given. I've had a lot of people step up for me and either recommend me or have my back when I wasn't around. And I owe a lot of people a debt of gratitude, that's for sure.
It's always good to be humble.
Well, you don't get here alone, right? You don't go to anywhere alone.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've heard a lot about like the community, especially like we heard about the special effects community, and then like you hear about the Vancouver filming community. You guys up there, you know, you stick together up there.
You're really tight up there from what we've been hearing.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Yeah. I think everybody that's here has come from somewhere. Everybody on the West Coast, for that matter. But we've always had a sense of let's prove it to the industry. Let's if we can do it here just as good as they can do it anywhere else, let's make it happen. And the word gets out, and they're like, well, who's the best person for this job? And we do that. We collect we really have each other's backs and encourage each other's skills. And you're only as strong as the chain and the link, right?
Absolutely. So, yep.
They say.
Yeah. Well, a lot of great television shows were, you know, filmed up there in Canada, you know.
Yeah, and more to come.
Yeah.
We're hoping.
Hopefully.
We're the consumers, so you know.
Yeah, you know, TV's changed a lot from, you know, back in my, you know, our day. It's changed quite a bit, you know. Since the good stuff. You know, it's for, you know, for good or for, you know, bad or anything like that, you know. One thing we definitely can get rid of reality TV, that's for darn sure.
I'm so glad you said it, because I was
yeah,
it got really hard to watch for a while.
To be honest, I kind of like basically stopped watching TV, you know, and TV show, because it's just like, one, it's like it's the same old, you know. And I noticed from, you know, back in the day, it's also gotten just not pleasant to watch, you know.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean, you know.
You should see our DVD Blu-ray collection.
I'm a huge physical media guy, you know. I'm huge physical media.
I haven't given up on that. We're definitely not. We're not streaming's friend.
No. For real, if you're going to want to watch Kolchak, the Night Stalker, you can't find it streaming. You got to put the disc in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There isn't a Netflix retro yet.
Right. You know?
And even then, you're dependent on them. Like you're dependent on them letting you watch what you want to watch because they can take it off whenever they want.
Exactly.
Be halfway through a series and then gone.
Yeah. And you guys actually, I don't know if you know this, but Netflix America is different from Canada and UK and
we've heard.
And now India.
I've heard.
Yeah, so you guys, like, you'll be just sitting there going, I don't know, I can't choose. And meanwhile, we're like, well, there's 10 things here, so we got to choose something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we've got an overload of unentertaining media to watch on streaming.
Well, we don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of TV. What we're doing, you know, we have day jobs and then we're trying to build this thing.
Right.
You know. All right, back to, you know,
the X-Files.
The X-Files. You know? All right. I got to tell you, my favorite from, you know, the favorite episode, season 11, you know, Benjamin Van Allen wrote just a killer script, you know, and it had the old school X-File feel to it, you know, and you played just this amazing character. You know, I mean, the way you moved, the look, the suit, everything. I loved it so much, I had to get it tattooed on my leg.
Right.
You know?
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Jim, is that?
I got it tattooed on my leg.
Is it next to the Fluke Man? And
yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Dude, that's hilarious. The first opening week of the episode, Bill over at WCT at the makeup studio, he had one of the producers send him a photo of your leg and said, Keith is already tattooed on some guy's leg. That's hilarious. I love that it's you.
Yep.
That's me.
That's how much you like that kid.
Yeah, I'm not finished. I'm gonna, you know, the next thing that's going on there is the demonic Teletubbies and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, what's up with them Teletubbies?
Yeah, what's up? Was that kind of like the idea? Did you guys get the idea from like the Teletubbies?
Yeah, I think that's exactly where it came from. It's a great opportunity to slam something that was really influential to so many kids and do it in a creepy way. I know the guy that made the heads for the Teletubbies.
Well, that answered one of my questions. I wanted to ask if they were actually physically acted or if that was all just like I don't know.
You thought it was CGI?
I didn't know. So, you know, that was going to be one of my questions, but now I know the answer.
Yeah. It's we built those. It was a whole team at in the costume department that jumped on those and made them happen. Irina it was key in putting together all the bodies and whatnot, and they were having a little trouble getting the heads right, so they asked me to come in, and I put together the heads for pulled from deep inside the bowels of my experience as a mascot maker, put together the heads, and the faces were done and vacuformed by Bill Terazakis. So
but you all did a very good job because they were creepy. I was like, what kind of parent lets their kid watch that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Who was involved in creating, you know, the head for Mr. ChuckleTeeth?
Good question. So the original design was done by Bill Terazakis at WCT Makeup Effects, and he actually did most of, I think, all of the X-Files characters. Sketched it out, designed it, did it all Photoshop, and then he gave it to a couple of his team at the studio or at his shop to build and sculpt. And the lead sculptor on that one was Gideon Hay. Gideon's awesome. If you guys like monsters and monster movies, he's definitely one of the best sculptors in Vancouver for that kind of stuff. He's been at it forever.
Great.
Yeah, and definitely look him up because he's got he's got some stuff all over the place, and he's prolific. The man is really good at what he does. Yeah. And all the rest of the characters, boy, there's a long list of people that work in those shops that we just never gonna get out there, and or the fans never see credit of, because they just don't make it to the credit roll. But without them, none of these things could be done.
Exactly.
That's what we do. You know,
we're trying
to reach out to a lot of people that, they don't get the credit, but like we said before, it takes a lot of people to make a great episode, and they're the true stars, behind the camera.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that episode without Chuckle Teeth, or if he didn't look, if he wasn't that creepy, they didn't do a good job sculpting that head. That would have affected your ability to act it creepily and our ability to.
But when that episode, when it aired, after it got done watching, I had a smile on my face the whole time, because it gave me that old school X-File feel, the way it was filmed, and the characters, the storyline. And after that episode aired, I mean, I basically swore and said, damn, they freaking did it, man. They nailed that one.
Yeah.
And I've watched that episode. I'd watched that episode probably about, I don't know, a couple thousand times. I never get tired of that.
Oh, Kelly, I thought I had that song playing in my head over and over. You must have just been, put it on mute.
Oh, it's great.
No, we haven't gotten that bad yet.
It's great. I've had people ask me, because I got the Chinga doll tattooed on my leg, and I've got, Mr. Chuckle Teeth, and then people are like, how can you do that? How? It's so, and I'm like, it's just a lovable character,
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
But if it wasn't for you and you behind the mask, and it just your movement was so poetic, but it was damn creepy.
Mm.
What goes into how you decide to act a character?
Right.
Honestly, Kelly, it's like Anthony Hopkins says, you can rehearse something all you want and try to embody the character as much as you want, but it's not until you get into your costume. A lot of it for me, when I get into the costume, then it all kind of settles on you. You literally feel the weight of the character, and it, a lot of the times with the sculpt on some of the bigger suits and other creatures, you start to feel how it sits on you, and then how you can bring your character up and out and through that. And Mr. ChuckleTeeth was exactly that. Like his his little peaky head kind of thing. Yeah. A lot of that was because the guys sculpted the head and then did a fiberglass slurry and pour. So it's not heavy, but it's definitely fiberglass. So when I put it on, I could really feel how it was separate from the body and had that kind of bobbleheady feel to it. And that's where it all started from. And it just sort of sunk into the rest of the body with all the movement and everything else,
Amazing.
It was amazing. It was totally perfect.
Oh, and he was doing that just now. I was looking a little like, I was getting that creepy feeling without the mask.
It's good stuff, man. That is good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you were also in the episode Ghoulie.
Mm-hmm.
You were the creature that was on the boat, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Talk about that.
Hmm?
Talk about that. What went into that?
That one was a little tricky in that he was also, we didn't really see it much, but he was also on, I was up on my toes for that character a lot. So not only did I have the sculpt of the body and everything there, but when I put the suit on, it kind of brought everything forward. And he also had those computer generated arms that came out.
Yeah.
So I had to keep those in mind for when attacking the girls or interacting with the cops when they were chasing me through the warehouse later. And again, Bill and his team. Yeah, they built this animatronic head as well with the jaws that separated up and through, and all of that together really helped to bring that he kind of had already embodied in him this kind of frantic movement because of the arms all over the body, you know, and then the head with the teeth and whatnot. So it made it easy to perform. And then you take costume, throw it on a poor guy that can't see where he's going, throw him in the dark, and tell him to attack two young ladies and hopefully not, you know, hurt them.
Yeah. That has to be difficult. Then you can't see what you're doing.
Right.
It's definitely a dance. We rehearsed the fight scene on the abandoned ferry just outside of Vancouver here a couple of days before. And when we rehearsed it, it was a bright sunny day. And then on the day that we shot, or I should say the night that we shot, walked on set, and they went to put on my head, and I said, whoa, guys, we need to walk this through. Because at that point, it was back to the good old days of performing blind. And that's one thing a lot of these, I think a lot of people don't realize is when you put on one of these costumes, you tend to be overheated and blind quite a bit of the time. So you develop a second sense or a seventh sense around your environment. So for me, in a situation like that with the girls and with the camera guys and the lighting and everything else, you scan the area, you locate points of light, and you make sure you know exactly where everybody is at all times, and then you kind of embody all that. And then when they yell action, you try and hold your energy, your adrenaline back just enough so that you can still be in control. And it's really like, you know, David Carradine in Kung Fu. You're really awesome when you got the blindfold off, but as soon as you have the blindfold on, can you be awesome again? So
that is amazing.
It is amazing. And like I said, we had one other interview, but I had to say the same thing. I'm so impressed with your ability to, you don't have any words, you don't vocalize, so everything has to be expressed through movements, and you know, that's amazing to me that you can do that so well.
That's pure talent.
I think that's harder to do than, like, you know, the lead character who's got all the good lines.
Right.
You can make an impact without saying a word. That's, to me, a bigger accomplishment.
It can be tricky. Yeah, I had a girlfriend in the past who I speak with my body. I speak with, you know, my face a lot. And I had a girlfriend in the past say to me out of frustration one day, "Speak." And I looked at her and I said, "I'm sorry, I thought I was."
And the creature for Ghoulie, what was the process like? You know, the costume and all that. How'd that process go?
Well, the first thing they did was they brought me in and they did a full body scan. And then from that, they took the full body scan, had it carved out of styrofoam, molded that, and then they sculpted on top of that. And it was layers upon layers of process from there. Head was all sculpted separately, hands were all sculpted separately, and the same thing with the shoes or lifts that I was wearing. And the great thing about being part of the build process for me, whenever possible, is that you get to put the suit on a lot, and then that helps you and the rest of the people working with you to tweak those little things, tweak your performance, or tweak the suit to allow more performance. Like you put on the hands, and if you can't move them, then there's, you know, it'll fall flat, or you have to do something else with the rest of your body to make it work.
Right.
And the same thing with the animatronics and whatnot. If you put on something that's been sculpted, you know, too high on your head and shoulders, and you can't really do much here, then that, and there's no time to change it, then you have to change your, you know, your body movement to get as much performance out of it as you can. So
interesting.
Yes.
You know, how long were you in the suit while you were filming?
I try to keep the suit on as much as possible. After a while of doing this, you start to develop a sense of resilience around and stamina around what you can do. On the days of shooting, it's usually full suit with the head and everything else. I can be in there sometimes for 2.5 hours, depending on how quickly we're setting up the scenes and moving the cameras and getting everything else done. And putting the suit on, depending on how elaborate the suits are, can actually take a fair bit of time. So I try to get into the suit and go to my happy place and stay in it for as long as possible. I breathe, I meditate, I go through the scenes in my head, I go through the movement, the blocking, and I try and stay in it for as long as I can. So the longest I've ever been in a suit without taking the head off was 8 hours.
Wow.
But that was like, you know, they were able to feed me water and everything else. But that's just on those days when you're really pushed for time, and you got to be a team player, because if they're waiting on you, that's 200 people, 200 very talented, highly paid, skilled craftspeople standing around waiting for you to put your pants on. And
when you say it like that.
Yeah. Right. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's why I can't. I could never do that job.
Yeah, that's it's like a, you know, it's a different lifestyle to us, you know. We're outside looking in, you know, and us talking to you and other people, we're getting a little glimpse of, you know, what it's like, and it's totally fascinating. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's I always say to everybody, anytime they say to me, it's something that I don't think I could ever do, you'd be surprised what you're capable of when you're under the gun and when people have expectations.
I had to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So you were also in the now I forgot, the Lost Art of Forehead Sweat as the alien.
Yep.
Can you tell us anything about that?
I love that episode. Again, Bill asked me to send in a headshot of me just with a neutral expression on my face, because the one that they pulled the character reference from was a Outer Limits episode.
Outer Limits. Yep.
Yeah, and all of the characters were they basically told the actors, do not emote at all. So I gave them this this picture to work from, and then when I showed up on set and read the script, Darren was like, no, I want you to be like, and so yeah, I did a deep dive into those mannerisms and whatnot, and with Darren giving me the freedom to just be myself and do my thing, it really came together. And the costume too. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The makeup that Bill and his team put together, and Caitlin and Ashley, two of my favorite makeup artists in the entire world, were so sweet and gentle, putting this massive football of a silicone headpiece on me. and took such good care of me. It made it all that much easier to perform. And I had these, I don't know if you noticed, but I had like 6-foot lifts. And my little contribution to the evening's shooting was I brought a little mini Segway to set. And I wrote it onto set for the blocking. And Darren and his and the DP looked at each other and they're like, you know, we got to use that.
There you go.
So, yeah, I was riding I came down the stairs on the 4-inch lifts and jumped on the mini Segway and rode all the way across there on the bumpy ground. And Jillian and David hadn't seen it yet either. So yeah, Darren wanted to shoot with their reaction to it first. And so what you saw of them when they were like,
yeah, like what?
Yeah, that was them trying to be like, what the hell? Don't crack up, I'm on camera. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, you know.
Yeah, that was an amusing episode.
Right.
Great.
Got anything else?
Well, I think that's all my.
Did you plug everything?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I did.
Oh boy.
Now I can ask you a true or false. IMDb says you played a character called Chatterman in Home Again.
That's right.
Can you tell me anything about that? Because that one's not clicking for me.
That's not clicking for me either.
You guys are gonna have to go back and watch the episode again. So Chatterman was in the episode in the underground when they were following the artist into his lair or whatever, and they come down into the basement, and this is the episode where, you know, the X-Files have been off the air for however long, and they walk around the corner, and just as they walk around the corner in the dark in the basement, their flashlights cross, and the music kicks in with that it's like, you know, a little homage and a little "We Are Back" kind of thing. And as they're walking down that hallway, they see this ghostly figure standing in front of them that turns and walks away, drawing them down the hallway. Remember that? And they follow that.
I remember the scene now. Yeah.
Okay. It was very faint, way down, way like a hallway underground. You know, it was kind of really faint. Okay.
Yeah. But Chatterman, as they're just getting to the corner, Chatterman is this figure that comes out, and he's a face that's half sculpted on clay. So it's a skull with clay sculpted up halfway on the face, comes out, bounces off the wall, and then disappears into the background again. And Jillian is like, "What the heck was that?" That's Chatterman.
I'm gonna have to check that out, because I remember Slender Man.
Yeah,
you know, that was the guy. We've got his wardrobe. You know,
what?
we got the wardrobe for that one. You know, and that's Chatterman. Now I gotta watch it again.
Yep. I remember that scene though, but now I'll watch it to know who's in the costume.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. Well, that's about it. That's all I got. You know.
For now.
Hopefully, there's going to be more.
Hopefully, there is going to be more.
Yeah.
I'd like more X-Files too, but you know, I'm also just into. I'm sure we'll see other things that you're in because it's all our genre. So
yeah. It's there's, you know what, I'm really excited about TV now. There's some stuff coming out that I think is going to be making it worth watching again, right, Jim?
I hope so.
Including, have you guys seen?
I've seen the trailer for it. We have not had time to watch it, but I've seen the trailer, and a friend of mine asked if I've seen it. You know, a friend of mine, Harry, you know, he's watched it and he loves it. He thinks it's great.
Yeah. Well, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun. and the writing is good. The characters are lovely. It's a very timely, feel-good kind of thing, and I think you're gonna like it.
We're gonna have to check that out.
We'll check it
We'll
out.
have to keep our eyes open for any monsters that might jump up, or aliens. I have a feeling.
I think you might find it. There's something in it for everybody, is what I like to say. And who knows with the X-Files? I mean, they sort of left it up in the air with their son running around on his own, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Well, when we talked to Chris Carter, we told him that there's more stories to tell. You know.
Well, he kind of told us, and he left us with, why was he goes, I'll leave you with one question. Why was Jackson smiling in the final scene? I'm just like, you can't leave me like that. That's the Chris Carter way.
Yeah, you know.
Absolutely. There's always more.
There's always more.
Yeah.
Hopefully they find a way to bring it to us.
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, like you said, you know, hopefully they bring back some old school television.
Yeah, I think they will. It's going to have definitely a new generation flair and twist to it, but yeah, I'm excited for what's coming around the corner.
That's good, you know. Yeah, because you know, we watch a lot of TV. We used to be moviegoers and, you know, go to movies and stuff, but they don't make movies anymore. They only make superhero movies
and remakes.
Yeah,
that's all they make. So I'm not, you know, nothing against the superhero movies. I'm just not a superhero kind of guy. You know, and remakes. God, yeah.
Which is hard because when you're a big fan of the original, you know, the remake doesn't really stand a chance.
So true.
Well, you know, we thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you very much.
It's really important. It means a lot to us, you know.
And thank you for your contribution to the X-Files, because those episodes wouldn't be half as entertaining without you.
Well, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, go Chuckle Teeth. Go Chuckle Teeth.
Hey, Jim, show me your leg.
Really? Really?
Does anybody else want to see this? Anybody?
How are you gonna do it?
I don't know how I'm gonna. You're gonna pull the camera down. I'll do it. Pull the camera.
This is amazing.
I can't.
This is amazing.
There he is.
Yeah, the demonic Teletubbies, they're gonna go in there somewhere, but you know.
So good. All right, well, that made my day.
First time I
you showed off your leg on our.
Yeah, first time I stripped on a Zoom call.
I'm just glad you were wearing pants.
Right?
Yeah.
You never know on Zoom.